Fun fact about Deadpool. In continuity, he has had 5 different symbiotes in a storyline known as Carnage versus Deadpool. Currently in Marvel comic books, there's an event known as Absolute Carnage, in which Carnage is going out and looking for anyone that has ever held any symbiote to take the codex of that symbiote out of the individual's spine. By taking the codex of every symbiote out there, Carnage is hoping to become the ultimate symbiote and become the god Null. So what that means is if Deadpool has actually had 5 different symbiotes, well, wouldn't he be a special case? This is the Comicstorian channel, where we take storylines within comic books, we take your favorite movies and TV shows, and we break down what happens in your favorite video games. We present them to you as an audio drama, almost like bringing back your Saturday morning cartoons. And if you want to talk to us about that, please consider subscribing to the channel or following us at Twitter at Comicstorian. But today, we're going to do the Deadpool tie-in to the Absolute Carnage event, in which Carnage realizes Deadpool is kind of a special person. As Deadpool and Spider-Man run through the streets of New York, Spider-Man yells as he tries to catch his breath, telling him, "I really, really don't get it, Deadpool." And Deadpool asks him, "What do you mean?" "Really, Deadpool?" Take a guess. It could be the fact that every single villain you have ever fought is currently chasing us. Like, what were you even thinking, man? Deadpool shrugs. "What? I just wanted to throw you a surprise birthday party." Spider-Man webs up, grabbing Deadpool, telling him, "First off, it's not even my birthday. Second, why invite all my enemies?" And Deadpool tells him, "Okay, well, 1, how was I supposed to know what day your birthday was on? You know, secret identity and all, bud. And all your enemies? Well, that circles back to the not knowing the secret identity part. How was I supposed to know who you're friends with?" As the two swing away, the villains stop, and Rhino asks, "Am I the only one who actually brought a present?" Spider-Man shouts out, "The only person you didn't invite was J. Jonah Jameson." And Deadpool says, "Yeah, about that." Elsewhere, J. Jonah Jameson is sitting in a party room by himself, muttering, "Freaking wall-crawling menace." But back with our heroes, Spider-Man lands on top of a building and Deadpool asks, "How about we get some pizza or something?" And Spider-Man stomps over to him, shouting, "You! Insane! Irresponsible! Extremely dangerous moron! This friendship? It's done! You need help. Serious help. Not just a once-a-week shrink, but people, teams of people, round the clock, Deadpool." Spider-Man hands Deadpool a piece of a business card and tells him, "Call this person, and don't bother calling me until you do." He then swings off the ledge with Deadpool asking, "Where are you going?" "Whatever, I'll get this over with. How can anyone say mad at Deadpool? No one!" Deadpool swings down to the street where Rhino dropped his present, and Deadpool finds a Rhino hoodie, which obviously he took. Weeks later, you know, when Spider-Man didn't get over it, Deadpool decides that maybe, just maybe, after numerous unanswered texts, calls, self-restraining orders, and blocking him on FaceSpace, that maybe Spider-Man is still mad. So why not go see the person on Spider-Man's business card? John Jameson at Ravencroft. Sure, why not? This place looks happy. Deadpool kicks in the doors, shouting that he's ready for his sponge bath. "Dr. Phil?" And after a few moments of silence, Deadpool says that this is not the reception that he was expecting. He walks up to the guard watching the security cameras and says that he's going to check in. Can he inform John Jameson? Made sure to leave all the guns home, even the cavity search gun. The guard doesn't answer, so Deadpool says, "All right, I get it. You're sleeping on the job. Say no more, my friend. Just gotta go this way." As Deadpool whistles and leaves, he doesn't notice that the guard sitting there has his throat slit and is clearly dead. Meanwhile, back at the facility, Carnage begins to tell his symbiotes that God is coming, Cult of Carnage. God is coming, and he is angry. Hell, he's pissed! As if we didn't have enough problems with the spine scavenger hunt. Now Missy Knight Shawshanked her way out of here thanks to an all-American werewolf and stupidity over there. The Carnage converted John Jameson as a werewolf pulls down the hood to his robe, stating, "I promise that I'll make amends. Just let me." And Carnage stops him, telling him, "Oh, don't worry. You will make amends. Otherwise, we'll see about getting you fixed." Just then, Carnage hears somebody clapping, and Deadpool tells him, "Oh, this is perfect. I've heard of this kind of immersion therapy before, but I gotta ask, why pick Carnage? Carnage is a loser. You should have gone with Stiltman. Now that would have been more threatening. And what's with Fido over here? Feels like he's got some real fur on him, possibly fleas. And that dog breath. Hey, you!" Carnage stares for a moment, realizing that Deadpool just walked into his sanctuary, and he tells everyone, "Kill him!" Seconds later, Ravencroft's halls are filled with the screeching screams of Deadpool as he begins to run away from Carnage and his horde of symbiotes. So what is Deadpool to do when he doesn't have any guns? Well, the next best thing. Microwaves! Everyone and their mother knows what happens to a microwave when you put metal in it. And there's going to be more metal in there than Iron Man's underwear. That is, if Iron Man wears underwear. Or is he naked in there? These are the world's greatest mysteries. Just as the symbiotes start to beat on Deadpool's makeshift barricade in the kitchen, he begins to set the microwaves off, asking himself, do I have time to heat up a burrito? Nah, probably not. A few moments later, the symbiotes break through and they begin to grab the flaming microwave, stating, I would like all of you guys to meet my friends here. This one's Bernie, this one's Explodey. As Deadpool begins to make his escape, Carnage watches Ravencroft burn down and shouts, I knew it! I warned you! Now it's time to put the old boy down. Carnage grabs John by the throat and John tells him, wait, we can get Misty Knight back. Just give me a chance. And as for Deadpool, how was I supposed to know that he would come dressed here like a unicorn? A tendril forms out of Carnage's shoulder and he says, not that it matters, but that was a rhino, not a unicorn hoodie that he was wearing. But then Carnage stomps. Unicorn! Unicorn Jameson! You're a genius! Saying that made me realize something. That clown Deadpool's the only human alive that has merged with 4 symbiotes. His spine is like hitting the friggin' Codex lottery. In other words, Deadpool's a damned unicorn. Because of that, my children, Deadpool's my top priority. Well, because of that, and another possibly more important reason, I really hate that guy. But later, at Deadpool's not-so-secret Safehouse and comic store, Deadpool goes through the list stating, I love this one, and especially that one. But this one? They probably should have just stayed friends. But the rest of you, I love you all. I'll never part with you beautiful guns ever again. It felt like leaving the house without any underwear. Again, and the 44 Magnum? You are missed most of all. Just then the phone rings with Deadpool sighing, asking, can't a guy have an inappropriate intimate moment with his guns in peace? This better be good. But Deadpool answers as Spider-Man yells, thank God! I really need your help right now. Really? Last time we spoke, you were really mean. Our friendship is important, but you just threw it out the window, Spidey. Our friendship was like the pizza with pineapple on it of friendships to me. And Spider-Man tells him, look, when this is all over, I will take you to the New Yorkiest pizza place of all time. Hell, the Statue of Liberty and Derek Jeter will be serving. But right now, as someone who hasn't bonded with a symbiote before, I need you to help me fight Carnage. And Deadpool tells him, right, about that, well, looks like Carnage already sent some symbiotes my way, so we'll have to talk later sometime, other buddy, bye! Out in the streets, Venom rips apart another symbiote, stating, I told him we didn't need your stupid friend. Now that you have us. But back at the safe house, 3 of Ravencroft's inmates, Will-O-Wisp, Conundrum, and Freak, who have recently been converted into Carnage symbiotes, kick in the door and Will-O-Wisp simply says, that is a lot of guns. The 3 spot Deadpool sitting in his chair and Freak charges forward telling him, there he is! Carnage wants your spine, but he said nothing about your head. As Freak swipes, Deadpool's head falls to the ground and he yells, ha! I done good. Think Carnage will let me keep the head? But Conundrum tells him, I don't see why not, especially since it was a fake. Will-O-Wisp lights up the area stating, it's fake. Face it, lads, we've been had. But as the 3 look at the dummy, they notice a note that says, blank goes the dynamite. Conundrum reads the note asking, what is that supposed to mean? And a second later, Deadpool's safe house explodes. Conundrum's body falls out of the sky with Deadpool looking down stating, oh, this is gonna be good. Deep fried Conundrum. Now where's that Szechuan dipping sauce? Conundrum begins to get back up, but before he can, Deadpool stabs his sword down into his chest. And then he tells him, that's funny. Why do I hurt when I'm stabbing somebody? Will-O-Wisp shoots several more tendrils through Deadpool, telling him, life is full of disappointments. Might as well get used to it now. Deadpool rolls over onto his back, taking out a flamethrower, asking them about, what about the trick where I pretend to be mortally wounded? He pulls the trigger of the flamethrower on Freak, asking, what gives? Aren't symbiotes supposed to hate fire? And Will-O-Wisp tells him, other symbiotes, yes. But I became intangible, and Freak here can regenerate. Freak then chomps down on the flamethrower, and Deadpool asks, okay, how about a crap load of bullets to your face? Freak punches Deadpool back down, and Will-O-Wisp picks him up, telling him, okay, it's time to end this. Here's another power not many people know that I have. The power of the mind. Look into the lights, Deadpool. You will take your blade and insert it into your own back, removing the all-important spine. Will-O-Wisp waits as Deadpool begins to carve into himself, and then suddenly feels a sharp pain. He lets go of Deadpool, falling on his back with a sword in his side, asking, how? And Deadpool tells him that the powers of the mind sometimes don't work so great on me, since I am absolutely out of my mind. Figured I'd play along, knowing the intangibility thing only works when you know it's coming. Freak then lunges at him, telling him, it's all well and good. But how are you going to deal with me? I'm practically invincible. Deadpool first starts with machine guns, then a grenade launcher, then a bazooka, and then a big, ridiculous Liefeld-esque gun that may or may not have been stolen from Cable and also gave him a hernia. Freak falls to his knees, stating, ow, I'm supposed to regenerate. And Deadpool asks, you know what I think? Maybe we finally overload your healing factor to the point where even the tiniest drop of water could kill your ugly ass. And so Deadpool takes out a squirt gun and shoots. The water makes contact and Freak explodes with a loud splat. And as it rains down Freak's internal organs, Deadpool tells him, "Great, now I'm wearing your ugly ass. Sure, I won, but at what cost? I can taste spleen. At least I hope it's spleen." But before he could finish, tendrils lash out, grabbing Deadpool by the neck, and a voice simply says, "It would seem the old saying is true. Don't send symbiote boys to do a Cassidy's job." As Carnage holds Deadpool up, Deadpool tells him, "Wait, are you Norman?" And the Norman Osborn, who thinks that he's Carnage, which is kind of a long story, and you should check out our other video if you want to get a better understanding of that. It's the Red Goblin one where Spider-Man defeats Red Goblin Norman. Anyway, tells him, "No, I'm Cletus." Deadpool then asks, "Are you sure? Because you really sound like Norman Osborn." And as Norman Osborn squeezes down, Deadpool gasps for air, telling him, "If this isn't the pineapple with pizza on it of the Who's on First for Deeds, then I don't know what is." Which, by the way, I wasn't. A few moments later, after being slid up and stabbed by a set of claws, Deadpool asks, "Are those Wolverine claws? Why did it have to be Wolverine claws?" Also, extra points for being able to recreate your own man musk stench. Norman tells him, "It's quite simple, really. It's all about having the right tool for the right job, whether it's cracking someone's skull open, cutting their lungs out, or crushing the very life out of them." As the tendrils tighten and squeeze around Deadpool's body, he tells him, "Okay, fine. I'm ready for the titular tool now. Inappropriate or regular, I will let you decide." Norman pulls him close, telling him, "You don't know how special you are, huh? Simply put, your specialness to Null lies in the fact that you have merged with 4 symbiotes. Or to put it another way, you're a damned unicorn, Deadpool." Deadpool thinks about it, stating, "I don't feel like a unicorn. Maybe some other kind of mythological creature, though, like a cyclops or a minotaur." Norman says, "What you're about to feel like is a man without a spine. Now hold still and..." But as Norman gets ready to cut into Deadpool's back, a web grabs him by the hand and Spider-Man swings in, asking, "Can I interest you in a nice fist to the face as an alternate, Norman?" Norman cuts the webbing, shouting, "For the last time, I'm Cletus Cassidy." And Spider-Man asks, "What is he talking about?" And Deadpool tells him, "I don't know either." Norman thinks that he's Cletus Cassidy for some reason. Norman then grabs Spider-Man's webbing and pulls him in, clotheslining him, telling him, "Not only do I get to offer up Deadpool to Null, but now I have the lovely gift of Spider-Man as well." Deadpool jumps up, slashing into Norman's back, telling him, "Me and Spider-Man wouldn't make very good gifts, to be honest. Now, one of those funky recliner chairs that massage the butt, that's what an insane symbiote space god would have wanted." Spider-Man gets up and the two take turns beating into Norman, but after a while, Norman shoots out dozens of tendrils, stating that he has a bad habit of letting people think that they've won. "I must admit, Mama always said I play with my food too much. And she was right." Norman focuses his attentions on Spider-Man, and Deadpool says that since they've already established that he's a bad friend, a friend that you thought so little of, Spider-Man, that you demanded I go to a mental institution or else be cut off. Now it's time for me to be cut off and cut out. Deadpool begins to run away from the battle, with Spider-Man asking, "Are you being serious right now? Wait! Norman bashes Spider-Man into the ground, telling him, "I'm pretty sure Deadpool is dead serious." Later, as Carnage is sitting on his throne, he sighs, "Please correct me if I'm wrong. I sent you to get Deadpool, and while they're both annoying as hell, that ain't Deadpool." Norman tosses Spider-Man to the ground, telling him, "Regrettably, Deadpool escaped. Thought bringing a spider to squash would be the next best thing." Carnage picks up Spider-Man, telling him, "You thought right." Spider-Man asks, "Next best thing? Come on, I am a much better catch than Deadpool. I don't stab my friends in the back and make stupid jokes about chimichangas or B. Arthur." Just then, Deadpool says, "Say what you want about me, Spider-Man, but I'll be damned if I'm gonna stand there while you badmouth B. Arthur." Either way, surprise! Guess who decided to trade himself for Spider-Man? That's right, I may be a bad dancer, kook, meteorologist, but I'm not gonna be a bad friend as well. Spider-Man gasps for air, telling him, "You're an idiot. I appreciate the attempted save, but you do know that they're just gonna kill us both, right?" And Deadpool tells him, "Carnage wouldn't do that." Carnage then says, "The wall crawler might be onto something, but I gotta hand it to you, Deadpool. You might just be the only person crazier than me." He tosses Spider-Man and latches onto Deadpool, and as he squeezes, he stops, telling him, "Your spine feels different." Carnage pulls Deadpool in and starts to rip into his back, with Deadpool telling him, "You might be right about the crazier thing. I am crazy. Crazier than you. Crazier than just about anybody, but sometimes, just sometimes, mind you, I'm crazy like a gorilla." As Carnage pulls out Deadpool's spine, he sees a note inside stating, "Blank goes the dynamite." And Carnage simply says, "Oh crap! The bundle of dynamite that is in Deadpool's back then explodes, engulfing the entire room in flames. And once that smoke begins to clear, Spider-Man throws his web shield away, asking Deadpool, "Deadpool, please don't be dead. Just gotta move the symbiote, Ed." The symbiote begins to groan, and Spider-Man chucks him, telling him, "Yikes! Maybe you're not dead after all." Spider-Man then sets Deadpool's torso up, telling him, "I'm pretty sure the saying that you were going for is crazy like a fox, Deadpool." And Deadpool tells him, "Nah, it's like a gorilla. Gorillas are nuts. The women kidnapping, the building climbing, the feces throwing. So much feces throwing. But where'd my legs go?" The two look up to see Deadpool's lower half plastered onto the ceiling. And Spider-Man says, "Looks like your legs went all Apollo 13 on you. And we don't have time to retrieve them. Cletus and not Cletus are coming after us." So, a few weeks later, at one of Deadpool's many crummy safe houses, Deadpool sits on the couch yelling, "Hello? What is taking so long? My feet aren't going to massage themselves, you know." As Spider-Man walks in an apron, Deadpool's playing his video games, telling him, "It is about damn time. Wait, are those brownies burnt? They smell burnt. And it's not time for Thanos Puppet Theater yet. And after that comes my sponge bath. Also, this Maximum Carnage game, it sucks." Spider-Man sets the brownies down, asking, "How much longer is this gonna take? Seems like you should have been healed by now." And Deadpool responds, "Not for a spine, it doesn't. Spines are like the pizza with pineapple on it of body parts to be healed. Now go make more brownies and do it right." Spider-Man drops the Thanos puppet and leaves, and Deadpool gets up, grabbing it, stating, "I will go for some Thanos Puppet Theater now, though." But as he picks it up, Spider-Man is walking back in, asking, "You can walk?" And Deadpool asks, "You gotta define walk." And a few moments later, the gentle screams of things breaking, and Deadpool's screams can be heard throughout the safe house. Now, for those of you who have been here for the whole ride of Absolute Carnage, it is finally time to come to the end of this entire story. Next week, we're going to bring you Absolute Carnage 4, and then immediately after, you're going to get Absolute Carnage 5. So if you want to see how this whole storyline with Carnage concludes, stick around. We are finally to the end of the whole thing. So just subscribe to the channel, turn on that bell for notification, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Comicstorian to get more information just the way you like it. And thank you so much for your continued support. While this seems to be the craziest of the tie-ins, I still think it's kind of fun with the whole Carnage thing, because Carnage is after Deadpool. Deadpool actually had symbiotes. And while they threw in some crazy Deadpoolness, overall, I thought it was a lot of fun. But what did you think about this story in general? Did you enjoy it? Did you disenjoy it? Do you want more Absolute Carnage? Are you kind of getting a little tired of Absolute Carnage? Either way, let me know, and I'll talk to you guys at the next Absolute Carnage episode.